Getting kicked
Oh,
out.
you're moving out.
Just gonna sit in the back. Yeah, I'm sure.
In the back row with us troublemakers.
You're already there.
Yes.
Well, looks-
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good.
This is Ron Ford. It is of the hour 10:12, and we're ready to start our Kane County Development Committee meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Berman,
Berman's here.
Doherty,
Berman's here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal present.
Kenyon, Linder, Davist,
Davis here.
Caius,
Is present.
Williams,
Williams here.
Ford,
Board present.
Pepe,
Steppy here.
Pirog.
Here.
You have quorum?
All right, can I get approval of the minutes from March 21st of 2023?
Move unanimous consent of accepting the minutes as printed.
Okay. Seeing there's no objectives, clerk, we don't need a roll call for
No.
that, right? All right, so no objectives? All right, so we moving on. Our monthly finance report, which is on file. If there's no questions or comments, we'll move forward to our first resolution, which is authorize a number of procurement cards issued to develop departments in each of their transaction limits.
Good morning. This is Jody Walnick, Director of Environmental and Water Resources. I'm filling in for Mark Van Kerkhoff today. We're asking for approval of the two procurement cards for the Development Department for Mark Van Kerkhoff as well as Janice Hill. The information in regards to the purchase and credit limit are in your packet.
Kenyon would move the resolution.
All right. Second. Motion, we have a motion and a second.
Is that for one or for all three
There's two listed.
or two?
All right, so we're gonna,
B?
it's actually three resolutions,
Oh.
say procurement cards.
Yeah, it was for the first resolution.
Okay. All right, so we probably could have moved all three, but.
I would like to make a comment on our resolution for environmental and water
Can I
resources.
get so we got the motion, a second, go ahead.
B.
The second resolution for authorization of procurement cards is for environmental and water resources. There's two cards under that department for Jody Walnick and Margaret Ryan. We're requesting the single purchase from the Jody Walnick's card to go from $1,000 to $2,000. We had an issue this past year twice where we were picking up our vehicle and we were unable to pay for it because we didn't have a significant enough credit limit. So we were requesting that change to Jody Walnick's card.
All right,
Which one?
Mr. Ford, the third resolution is regarding community reinvestment, and we would ask you to pass that as well.
okay, all right.
Could I ask?
So I know, hold on one
Want to
second.
move all together?
Yes, so can you change your motion?
Yeah, move them all together.
All right. Agree with the second? All right, so Madam Chair, go ahead.
Just clarification, with Ms. Walnick's request, is it going to be which cards? And she said she's got two under her name.
It's
There-
Jody Walnick's card. It's in the resolution from a $1,000 one-time purchase to a $2,000 one-time purchase.
But Jody,
The other one's in the other girl's name.
The department,
They're
but just her,
individual names.
you said you had two under your name?
Margaret Ryan's is not changing.
Okay. Oh, so they're two cards, not three cards.
Correct.
Okay, my mistake. Okay.
no problem. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none,
Does,
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
does the motion and second include the amending it to 2,000 for Jody? Is it-
It's actually in the resolution that
It
way.
is in there already. Okay, sorry. But
all right.
Sorry.
Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, roll call, vote please.
Berman,
yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder, yes.
Davist,
That was yes.
Caius,
Yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Board, yes.
They all pass.
All right, moving on. Public comments. I know we have a speaker, but I believe it's probably when we get to that issue, unless there's any other public speakers online or in present? All right, seeing none. Move on to building. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oh, later on, okay. Okay, thank you. Moving on to building and zoning division.
Jody Walnick again, for Mark Van Kerkhoff. The building and zoning report is in your packet. And starting next month, we will be having an addition to that report where the code enforcement group will be presenting at this meeting and providing updates. If you have any questions, I can direct those to Mr. Van Kerkhoff when he returns.
All right. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, move on to our wind and solar energy proposed text amendment.
Thank you. Jody Walnick again for Mark Van Kerkhoff. There's a memo in your packet regarding the state changes through Public Act 102-1123. It's just a little bit of background on this. The county has always approached any solar or wind applications as special uses. That enabled us to kind of tailor our comments and conditions as those projects went through the process. Other counties that surround us actually adopted ordinances in regards to these projects. As this act passed, what's going to occur is that on May 24th, I have the right date there. If we don't adopt these provisions and amend our county ordinance, we won't be able to place any restrictions on solar or wind projects. The Public Act provides for the maximum requirements, so we cannot be more restrictive than what's in the Public Act. We have a 38-page document that was developed with the assistance of the Illinois Farm Bureau and the Association of Counties that we've worked with the state's attorney's office and will be going to the Zoning Board of Appeals on April 25th. Our request to this committee is that you schedule a special development committee meeting to be held before the executive committee meeting to review and approve this ordinance. That would enable us to put the ordinance directly on the executive committee agenda so it can be placed on the May 9th county board meeting in order to meet the state's deadline of May 26th. It wasn't the 24th, it was the 26th. We would ask that after this meeting, I can send out an email with the link to the 38-page document to all the county board members. And would ask that any comments in regards to that 38-page ordinance be sent to Mr. Van Kerkhoff or myself by April 26th, which is about just over a week. That way we can address any questions or comments before the special development committee meeting, because if anything were to come up at that meeting and we need to table it or send it back for additional information, then we would miss potentially that May 9th county board meeting.
All right, thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just one question, just
Caius?
maybe I didn't catch it correct. This is Caius. You had said that the state has passed this language, and we can't make it any more restrictive than the state?
That's correct. It lists, like, for example, setbacks from right-of-way lines and adjacent properties for solar and wind facilities. So say if those setbacks are 100 feet, we can make them less than 100 feet, but we can't make them more than 100 feet. So it's very restrictive on what we can do. If we don't pass it at all, we're not allowed to impose any kind of setbacks.
Okay, thank you.
So I think this is unusual language from the state with other things like this. I didn't read through the whole thing, but it's pretty detailed than what we usually get for issues like this. Any other questions or comments? All right. I guess we got a census to go ahead and put on. You say goes to exec?
A special development committee we're recommending before exec committee, maybe at 8:30. And then exec at 9, and then county board on the 9th.
Sounds good.
Mr. Chair, do you
Go
need a
ahead.
motion for this, Jody?
Just a consensus that allows us to do that.
All right, we have a consensus, seeing that we do, no objections. So let's move.
Like
for-
another meeting.
So we'll move forward to our first zoning petition of the day. This is zoning petition 4598, rezoning from F District Farming to B3 District Business with a special use for a landscaping business.
Great, thank you so much. Hera Amir with the King County Zoning Department. So today we brought this petition back to you. This was tabled from our January meeting. Petition 4598, Laura Lopez requesting a rezoning from F District Farming to B3 District Business with a special use for landscaping business. All right. Oh. This is our King County 2040 land use plan. As you can see, the red arrow designates this area as a urban neighborhood / mixed use infill. Sorry, I'm not sure why it's a little blurry. All right, so this is just kind of the highlighted portion. Parcel is highlighted in red. There we go. So this is our King County, it's going, sorry about that, guys. This is our King County zoning ordinance, zoning map, shows this parcel as F District Farming for single family residents. The parcel surrounding this parcel is like in Village of Montgomery, under the red hashtags. So this is an aerial of the proposed site. As you can see, the parcel is surrounded by different types of land uses. We have right adjacent to this, towards the east, we have single family residents. Towards the west of this parcel, we have a cemetery. And this is kind of a zoomed in of the same parcel. As you can see, get a better look of how the single family residents towards the east of this property. There used to be a single family residence on this parcel, no longer there. Currently, it's vacant. This is the plat of survey. As you can see, it's composed of smaller lots. This was the original site plan that was brought to you guys in January. A lot of different comments from different staff, departments were taken into consideration, and a recent revised site plan, which is this, was submitted to us on March 14th of 2023. As you can see, they did take into consideration some of the comments, setbacks that were proposed by KDOT, as well as making sure after listening to the residents, they made sure that they have a little bit more buffer from the neighboring residents towards the proposed proposed structures. Even as far as the entrance has been moved more closer to the intersection. Before it was closer kind of, towards the residents. It's a little bit away from there. And there's a proposed fence of 8 foot now that's being proposed on this site. In the interest of time, I know we've already had gone through all the comments. And when this was brought to us in January, so nothing much has changed as far as comments from King County Health Department, as well as Water Resources Department. But if you'd like, I can go ahead and go over them. As far as staff recommended, the special use would allow establishment of the landscaping business on the property. This was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeal with approval with recommended stipulations. We do have objection from the Village of Montgomery and the area property owners. This is was also brought to you in the interest of time. I won't go over all of them, but we do have a most recent correspondence with the Village of Montgomery that was dated from yesterday. April 17, 2023, we got an email from them that stated that the village continues to object to this rezoning and the special use on Pearl Street. It is not compatible with with adjacent residential zoning or with Montgomery's comprehensive plan, which calls for single-family detached residential for that area. We have previously informed the property owner that a contractor yard is inappropriate for the site and that the additional screening would not elevate our concerns. So this was the most recent correspondence we received from the Village of Montgomery. And that is it. Thank you.
Doherty.
Can I get a motion to second on this?
Berman moves.
Already seconded.
Okay. Go ahead, Gordon.
Thanks. I just saw what you read from Montgomery, but what's their concern? It just says it doesn't alleviate their concerns, but what is their concern?
William stated that
They've given us-
for the-
They're mostly it was not in their comprehensive plan. It's their comprehensive plan has it as a residential use.
But that's their concern?
They don't want it.
It seems like it. I think, I just,
They're against.
if I can get in here for a moment, what I was hoping to see was, from Montgomery is their comprehensive plan up and down Montgomery Road. Going down, passing through this over the years, I've always seen Montgomery Road more of a commercial site than residential. So it's kind of hard to see that, all the issues there are, and unless they're just having this one area section off this part of Montgomery Road as residential, because there is a lot of other residential in that area.
Right, and they are putting an 8-foot fence all the way around the entire property? Correct?
Yes, it is. Before it was 4 foot and now they've changed it to 8 foot.
All right, well. I'm not gonna get in the way of progress. They should allow this business in there.
All right, any other questions or comments? I think we have some people here that like to speak.
Berman.
Okay.
I think every community has the right to come up with a comprehensive plan for all the property that surrounds their community. And they'd like to plan the growth of what it should be. So I think that in this case, if Montgomery is against it, then I think they're doing that for their own reasons, and or every community would probably have that same feeling. I'd be against the proposal. Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair Tempe here. In the attached materials, it shows a whole list of complaints from the village of Montgomery, and they have delineated their complaints. And I believe is this on? Yeah, oh, sorry. I think you am closer. Is it a 6-foot fence or an 8-foot fence? It says here that it's a 6-foot fence.
Yes, in the new site plan,
Pardon?
the site plan that was submitted, the most recent site plan. Can we pull that up or?
I believe it said 6 by 8, and that didn't make sense to me.
Oh. Yes.
Saying that it's
Oh, is that
8
the
foot
match?
tall or 6 foot. tall.
Okay, so I think the new site plan, which is not in the packet. Is that what it is?
Roth here. The packet, or what she presented isn't in the packet. I downloaded it from the website and it's the older packet.
Okay. So we can pull that up. This is the most recent.
Yeah, see, there's where it says 6 to 8 right there. In the middle.
Okay.
I guess my question is because I know some places don't allow the 8-foot fence and on the front of the major road. So I don't know if it's a combination of 6 foot in the front and 8 foot on other 3 sides, or.
And we do have the petitioner is here, so they can also always answer that as well as far as they're proposing, but
Go ahead.
Assuming we could clarify the 6 feet, 8 feet and all that, I guess. The problem that I'm a believer in small business, and, would like to enable small businesses to thrive. But the village, while I have not seen their comprehensive plan, I assume that they are referring to it, faithfully. And they've indicated in pretty clear language that this does not meet their plans. That this property is in fact got residential contiguous to it. And they don't think this is a good fit. It's not what they're looking for. I would not want another governmental entity, just trashing what we thought here. So I have a hard time going against what they've clearly stated to us as being, not part of their vision, not part of their approval, and I don't see a way for me as a county board member to support this in light of the message from them.
All right, any other? Caius?
Mr. Chairman, Caius? Yeah, I'm going to follow Mr. Davis' lead there in that what typically follows is that the county has unincorporated areas. If a village is enlarging, they're going to inherit whatever we've done on that property.
Right.
And they've already got a plan for this area. So my thought process is they've got a plan for where they're going with this. And for us to put this in there would be contrary to what they
Seems to be.
are. So I would be in favor of the applicant working it out with the village somehow prior to us approving it.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, Doherty.
All right,
Doherty.
Gordy, then 8 Ball. And then Juby. Go ahead, Doherty.
I didn't see that. I remember back in January when this was brought up initially, Chris, that there was nothing going on. It was a vacant lot. It's been a vacant lot for years. Now you're telling me that the village all of a sudden has a plan now that somebody wants to move in there? What's the time frame on that plan? I did not see that. Anybody?
I don't think there is. I think it's just that part of their comprehensive plan that be residential. I think that's where it's at.
Oh,
And 8 Ball.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have two observation on this report that the village sent us. Actually, they say it's a village is saying it, but there's no evidence that the elected officials agreed to that. Is some bureaucrat is writing that he is a village, and I don't agree with that. That's not how it should proceed. Number two, this area is engulfed by the village of Montgomery. So it is adjacent to and right next to and has nexus to the village. If they want, they could annex it. But why don't they annex it? They have a right to, but they don't want to exercise that right. So I believe we should give the petitioner what they're looking for. Thank you.
Right. Juby.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a couple of comments. We hear oftentimes about local control, and as two commissioners have said before me, for us to override the Village of Montgomery on what they see fit on that property would be a great disservice to the idea of local control. But there was a few things in that presentation that we've brought up. The 6 to 8 foot fence proposed, we're being told it's 8 foot, but the proposal is 6 to 8. That would be some type of clarity that we would need. The type of landscaping that surrounds it, that the village says does not address their needs. But I think that the two big ones that I think we need to consider for the village is that they're saying that the outdoor storage should be on an improved surface, and it's being suggested that it's on gravel. So I think that that's a big deal for the petitioner to be looking at, and also the site triangle that they claim, which would be a safety issue. And so I think that until those two things and then the clarification on the size of the fence, until they can work those things out, I don't think that we should override what the village says. So thank you.
All right, I see, Mr. Williams have his hand up.
Thank you. You know, I tend to agree with Mr. Doherty on this. I mean, this property has sat vacant for many years. I don't think the use is inconsistent with really what's going on in the general area. There are plenty of vacant properties nearby. It seems to me that if the Village of Montgomery wants to exercise some control over this property, they could do more than just enact, comprehensive plan. They could take affirmative action to annex this property and others, and it doesn't appear that they've done that. So I don't think it would be fair for us to tie up this property owner who wants to, use a property to make a living, and I think it's not an incompatible use. So I would be in favor of the proposal.
All right, we have some speakers here. Go ahead, Madam Chair.
I'm just curious, is this Anita Lewis's district or Ms. Gums?
It's Guns District.
And has she weighed in on this?
I have spoken with her on a few occasions about this. She expressed that she kind of had mixed emotions about it. And that's where she kind of left it at. I see Molina, hand is up.
Thank you, Chair Ford. I sent a chat with the land use legend of Montgomery's comprehensive plan. But I just wanted to say I'm in favor of this request. If you look at the comprehensive plan, there's a lot of mixed use on Montgomery Road. And I agree with what Mr. Williams and what Mr. Daugherty said. If the village was so concerned about the land use in this specific corner of, I think it's Pearl and Montgomery Road, then I would say, why not annex it? But if you look at it, it's separated. You have a piece of the public, and then you have some heavy industrial and some light industrial business right in that section. So I don't see this as a deterrent, and I would agree with the petitioner. Thank you.
All right. I believe we have Williams, you have your hand back up again?
I'm sorry, no, I can.
Okay.
Ignore that.
Go ahead.
Berman, we talk about annexation to the community. If they're not contiguous, they cannot, unless they surround it or are contiguous to it, so they can't annex it. You just can't go out and annex anything because you want it, but it is in their comprehensive planning area.
All right, I believe we have some speakers here. If they want to get a chance to speak, I'll allow it. Go ahead. You had to come up to the mic, please. State your name.
My name is Tiffany Thomas, and I have.
Pull the mic down real close to that.
You get very close to that
That okay?
microphone.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Tiffany Thomas. We have the property directly across the street from the parcel. I have 4 children, 3 of which are small. There are no sidewalks up and down Pearl Street, and they ride their bikes in the street. And this service is a landscaping business that will be doing business during spring, summer, and going into fall. So for my children, they won't have anywhere to ride their bikes because these trucks will be constantly coming in and out. The property has changed as far as what he wanted to do. It has changed so much. The very first time he came and spoke with me and my husband, he said he wanted to build a home there. So had he been honest in the beginning, I would not be objecting to this because I would have spoken directly to him and dealt with him on what I wanted and needed. But because there was no honesty in it, my fear is that there will be more on the property than what is said that he placed on there. And that's why I would say no for myself, and directly next to him are 2 small children as well. And the new homeowners just moved in 3 homes down that also have small children. Okay, please.
All right,
Thank
thank you. Go, anybody else? Go ahead.
Can we pull up a Google, this Caius, can we pull up a Google map of this area that shows the houses around there rather than that industrial map?
I think we,
No. Not very well.
go ahead while we're,
Okay, if you could show the map, I'll show you what,
which map? do you-
that showed how he'd be coming onto Pearl Street and the bends that he has there.
We need your name.
Oh, my name is Cindy Steele. I live on the end of Pearl Street, Pearl Wabansia, and I have property that goes up 4th Street.
Well, that's better.
So where you see at the very end of Pearl, I live right there. And the thing I'm complaining is my grandson, I was outside with him blowing bubbles with him in my yard. And here comes a car coming down 4th Street, and they always come right around Wabansia up Pearl. This car's going so fast, fishtailed. Her son is riding his bike, just missed him. I screamed and I ran out there. That car, I watched that car go right to them lots. Because it's a residential area. Now with them bends you see that they're going to be putting there, that's more trucks coming down, more dirt down our street. We just got a brand new street last year. Now with these kids riding their bikes, their skateboards, they won't be able to do their skateboards because all this mud and dirt's going to be all around. They have no compassion for these children. And when they were running something, 6 o'clock in the morning, their big trailers are coming down, their shovels, all the equipment waking us up. Our dogs are going crazy. This is a residential area. I don't want to see a child get hurt or killed because they want to zoom up and down the streets. And when they pull out of there onto Pearl Street, they can't go left. They'll be going to somebody's yard with the extensions on the back of their trucks. So that means they got to come down Pearl, down Wabansia and up 4th. That's where all these children play. They're outside from 8 in the morning to 9, 10 o'clock at night. They're just playing. Let these, you wouldn't want it in your neighborhood. You want to see your kids and grandkids play. They need their, it's been like that since I moved there in the 80s. Kids have always played on that road because it's a residential area. We watch out for each other's children. But when I saw that child almost get killed, oh my God, I still shake when I think about it. He did not even see it coming because it was behind him. And he did not care at all. He just went to the lots, got in his car, and he took off again. So this is what I'm complaining. This is a residential area, not a business. There's going to be more traffic, more trucks, more everything coming down our street.
All right, anybody else? Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to speak on this issue. My name is Dennis Esposito, and I live at 1398 Pearl Street, which is right on the corner of Pearl and Wabansia, right across the street from the Steels. The lot next to me, north of me, was also going to be a landscaping business. The lot across from that was also going to be a landscaping business. Both of those are now vacant lots with nothing going on and grass growing high. And they've had notices to mow their grass and clean up the area because they recognize that they're not going to work there anymore. To have another attempted landscaping business on Pearl Street is unconscionable. I just don't see the residential area, which I've lived in for 25 years, be turned into business because there's other businesses on Montgomery Road. Their entrances on Pearl Street, not on Montgomery Road. All the other businesses on Montgomery Road have entrances on Montgomery Road, not from a residential side street. I do not see any purpose that could sway me or my other friends on this street to approve anything like this once again to see a failed business. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good morning. My name is Frank Steele. When this guy first approached us, he told it was going to be a playground for his kid. He said, I'm just going to put a playground up here someplace for my kids to come on the weekends and play. So who really knows what's going on? The fence is not the issue here. Who cares about the size of the fence? We're talking about the traffic that it's going to generate. So if he has a fence, it makes it right to kind of hide stuff. But we're going to be the ones putting up with the noise, the dirt, the mud, and the busyness of it. And believe me, there's no set hours. It can be all day. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, this is Felipe. My wife, she on the lot. I'm the one that has the business there. So we bought this lot, a couple years ago, trying how, everybody say, there's a lot of small business in the area. I thought it was okay to park my truck, there and, have a lot, I got kids too. So to play my daughters, in the lot. But I get confused, when I bought the lot, the realtor told me I can park because it was farming zone, so which it wasn't right. So that's why I tried until I found out I can park the truck there. So it's been a process, we changed the site plan many times, the best way we think goes. So the new site plan, that's why we would put the entrance close to Montgomery Road enough. That way we don't get too much on peril. So as soon as we get to the new one, yeah. So as soon as we pull into peril, that way we can turn into the lot. Yeah. That way we don't block nobody, and going out the same way. So right now, when we go and mow the lawn and do service for the lot, we've been blocking or probably goes around because there is no way, we don't want to turn around in the lot and make mud in the streets. So now we just need to get entrance. That way we got inside, turn around, go away. So and about the fence, I mean, we can do it lower. I mean, I just following, the best way to go. That's why I'm here, I just try to do my best and that's it. Thank you.
All right, I see Mr. Linder had his hand up.
Oh, sure. Mr.
I don't have a citation, but it occurs to me that if we're overriding something from the village that's within their statutory planning area, that we need a larger majority than 50%, 50+1. Is that true? Does anybody know?
I don't know. All right. This won't be we've have, not that I'm trying to encourage it this time, but we have passed something where the local municipal palace was not in agreement with before. So this won't be the first time. Unfortunately, I think that this probably would work best as a right in or right out off of Montgomery Road than anything else. But Madam Chair.
I was wondering the same thing as we're trying to come up with a adequate solution for all. Montgomery Road seems to be the best access point, but I don't know at this point if there's been any conversation about that and what those restrictions are to access on Montgomery, which would, obviously Pearl Road is a residential road with lots of young families there, and we have to support them without question.
ADOT guy right there.
I don't know, can we get any comments on that from staff? Go ahead.
I'm Kurt Nika with Kane County Division of Transportation, and you're right, Montgomery Road is a county highway, so that kind of access to Montgomery Road should, by the book, trigger an access permit from Kane County Division of Transportation. that, that style of access to Montgomery Road would not meet our current criteria for spacing along Montgomery Road. Of course, the county board, we will follow your direction. But I wouldn't be doing you a service if I didn't point out a number of different variances to our access policies that would come along with that with respect to access spacing and just the nature of how a right in, right out design should ideally be put in place. We could do it. I'm sure we could figure it out. But there would be some design variances at play there in order to make that happen.
All right. Would anybody be against seeing what this would look like with a right in, right out off of Montgomery Road? Do you think is? All right.
That, this is Caius. I'm not sure. My primary objection is that the city of Montgomery, the village of Montgomery is not interested in having it there at all. So unless,
Well, I guess let's take
I
the
guess I
vote on
wouldn't
that.
object to it, but still.
Okay, all right. We have one more.
Morning. My name is Jason Owens. I'm the Highway Commissioner for Aurora Township. Pearl Street is under my office's jurisdiction. This is not an approval that they have to apply for an access permit for the new access. This is the first time I've been hearing about this. I mean, I'm notified about the meeting. This is not something that my office would be particularly interested in granting. This is a residential area. This is, you can see we have families here. The closest commercial, if we brought the map back up there, it's nothing touching that is commercial. This would be a complete departure for this area. And we talk about township being the closest government entity to the people. You have the people here saying what they're looking for, and it's not to have businesses on a street like this. So, you know, from my office's perspective, this is not something we would grant. There's a permit that would be required. This is not something that we'd be interested in granting. So I would say the Montgomery Road access, if this were to go forward, that is the only way possible. And again, I'm not saying that that's appropriate either, because you have residents here that say no, that this is not what they want. And we should all be, as local government, we should be responsive to them. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Go ahead.
Mr. Ford, Roth here. In a prior development meeting, I think KDOT had said they did not want to access on Montgomery Road.
And that's why I said, unfortunately, I know it does not meet the requirements we would have for right in, right out. But that's why I said, unfortunately, that for any solution that would come close to satisfying or make the residents feel more comfortable, one would have sidewalks, and two would be the access being off of Montgomery Road and no access off of Pearl Street. But after hearing the township commissioner, that highway commissioner, that doesn't sound like that's gonna happen. So at this point, I really think we should call the question.
Oh, Doherty, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Right, he's saying he doesn't have an interest in improving the Pearl Street entrance, but we certainly could allow a variance for the Montgomery Road entrance. I mean, right across, almost across the street is a residence that has in and out on Montgomery Road that's looks like it's less than 50 feet from the corner. So it certainly wouldn't be a problem for this business to have access to Montgomery Road, right?
Well, that's why I did ask the question, would anybody be interested in seeing what a right in, right out would look like off of Montgomery Road for this property?
Yeah, I certainly think we can allow variance for that.
But
Not necessarily.
let's see what it would look like. A right in, right out would cause for a lot more things than just that's involved with it. And I'm not too sure the space is there to make it work. Caius?
Well, I'm going to just say that that it's not as hard and fast as as you're positively saying, well, of course we can do that. And I don't want to take umbrage to that, but what we're talking about is every variance that we apply for and use on a road is not just a variance on the code, it's a variance on this, which establishes it's a safety. So the safety, each one of those variances impedes the safety of large vehicles, not just residential vehicles going in and out on that. So I would bring that question up, and maybe Kurt has some.
Mr. Kenyon?
It would appear to me that really we shouldn't vote on it because it's not ready. We don't have any entrance. I agree with the neighbors. It's not safe. So they have to go back home and make some plans, or we should just deny it altogether.
All right. Go ahead.
I call for the question.
Now you got to vote on it,
Well, only if it's seconded.
Need a second.
Well, we can
Call the vote, Mr. Chair.
but the chairman can call them.
All right. I would say that unless there's a motion to table it for further information,
A motion to table it.
do we have a second?
Yeah, Doherty will second.
That would be more properly to postpone till the next meeting, or we have updates on information.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, point of order, you need to table to a time certain.
Yes, that's what we're working
Postpone
on.
to a time certain.
But you're not
Post-
tabling, you're
We
postponing.
have to postpone. It's not ready to be voted on. It's not ready. Those people, we have to respect them. Their yards.
So do you have a timeline?
Table to the next meeting?
No.
Well, I mean, I can off the cuff here, I could discuss some things off the top of my head where I could list some of the design variances that I see. If that's helpful, I can do that, or I can write up something for the committee's
Yeah,
consideration.
I would say let's have it presented at the next meeting.
Okay.
It won't be ready.
Or it can be 2 months. There's nothing wrong with 2 months. All right. To our June meeting, which is, anybody know what date that is?
I could have it ready in the next month if that's your desire.
Table it till the next meeting, and if it's
The
ready,
next
great.
meeting.
If it's
All
not,
right,
then
we'll
you
table it.
again, I mean.
All right, so the motion on the table is a table to our next meeting, and I think we had a second.
Yeah, Doherty.
Doherty seconded it. So, roll call vote, please.
One thing, Doherty.
Go ahead.
No discussion. Point of order.
What?
Once you vote, excuse me, if it's tabled, which you said it's tabled,
Yes.
there's no discussion. If it's postponed, there is discussion.
Well, if it's going to a time certain, it's postponed.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get through this thing.
Yes,
These
thank
people
you.
have lives to lead.
Okay, but can I just say that if we're not gonna allow the variance on Montgomery Road, then there's no point in making them go back to their architect and redesign the plan for a third or fourth time.
Right.
So if we're gonna agree to that, then that's fine, but let's not force the property owner to go through the rigmarole if we're not gonna support it.
Agreed.
I agree with you. The question was, is anybody interested in seeing what it would look like and what it would take for the right in, right out on Montgomery Road? And that's what we're taking a look at. We're just taking a look at it.
Would it be
So
not anybody, but a majority? Would a
that's
majority,
what,
is that point of order? We need a majority. If we just need one person, but we're still gonna vote it down,
but right now, what it is the table it into the next meeting. That's what's on there.
not seconded
Unless-
yet, and it's postponed.
I already had a second.
that's right.
So that's where we're taking the vote at.
Yeah.
So if we can take that vote and get that out the way, if that doesn't pass, then we can go in another direction
So this is
Ro-
for the postponement.
until the next meeting.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Berman,
Herman, no.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
No,
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Caius,
No,
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Ford, yes. All right,
It passes. Or it, I'm sorry, it is postponed to the next meeting.
all right. That's still a pass in this case. All right, so moving on, we have our next, get my glasses back on.
Oh, could I, excuse me? may I,
Sure, go ahead.
Just as a comment for the report that'll be given next month, could we see what other properties on Montgomery Road within a few blocks of this address have that right in, right out? And I'm curious to see if any of those are commercial.
All right. This is for staff.
Excuse, I think the road commissioner said that there are no, he already confirmed that there are no businesses within that section right around there on Montgomery.
No, a block down, there's a gas station and a Burger King and a
Well,
strip mall.
All right, look,
Douglas.
we're getting, I mean, it's already
All right.
tabled.
Three blocks,
So,
but that's okay.
so any question and go to staff or any questions we can do. So we can move on to our planning and special projects. So our planning division staff report.
Good morning. Thank you, Matt Tansley with the Planning Division and for Mark Van Kerkhoff. The April Planning Division staff report is attached to the agenda packet. This is just a quick summary of Planning Division activities over the previous month. I'd be happy to answer any questions about these. I do primarily report to the Agriculture Committee, so I could probably speak to the Food and Agriculture section of the report in more detail, but I'd be happy to take any questions.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we're gonna move on to our Mill Creek minor adjustment, lot J12. Take her away.
Good morning. I'm Deanne Orlick with Water Resources. In front of you today, we have an adjustment for a pool and the deck that surrounds the pool over in Mill Creek. We're over off of Fabian Parkway and Hughes, just north of that intersection. You'll notice the star, this particular lot is actually on the corner. They also abut open space in the rear of the lot. So it's a kind of an isolated parcel. The owner came in with a proposal. As you see up there now, this particular proposal went out for comment and we received comments from Shodine. Shodine was asking that the owner move the pool closer to the house as there was about a 3-foot gap that he could squeeze it a little tighter to the house and not impinge so much on that rear setback. So the owner took back the plans and came up with the deck. He is requesting that be reduced to an 8-foot setback. The normal is 10. And on the pool setback, he's requesting that be reduced to 11 feet, whereas the normal is a 20-foot setback. This is a PUD. The adjustment of this will not increase the overall density of the site. It will not decrease open space or affect the physical layout of the surrounding lots. All jurisdictions and neighbors were advised of this. And as I stated, we had comments from Shodine, which had been resolved. Staff recommends approval.
All right. So is there a resolution with this or?
This is up for you to approve. It's not a resolution.
Okay.
Williams moves to approve.
Second. A motion to second. Any questions or comments?
I don't know why the man wants a pool, but
Yeah, there's more work than people. It's a lot of work. No, there's no question or comments.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
This is William speaking. Generally, these types of requests are approved in Mill Creek. This is consistent with what we've done with other properties where the property owner backs up to open space. So, you know, we have plenty of precedent for approving this request.
I think so too. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, seeing none. Roll call vote, please.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Davis,
yes.
Caius,
Nice, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Or yes. All right, moving on. environmental resources.
Underwater resources, we have one ordinance before you this morning. We're in the home stretch of the Boyer Road Special Service Area. As you remember, there was the public hearing held before the county board this month. So this is one of the final steps. The residents out there are very excited to get construction going. So once this moves on to county board and is approved, they can get ready to go with their drainage project. So I would request approval of the ordinance establishing the Boyer Road Special Service Area.
Motion, Kenyon, motion to approve the ordinance.
Berman second.
All right, we got a motion to second. Any questions or comments? Mr.
Ms. Caius, just a quick
Caius.
question. This is a 10-year span so that they have 10 years, they're going to do the project, then pay it off.
That's
through
correct.
Levied taxes.
Yes, a maximum of 10 years.
So we just administer, the people pay
Or
their,
renew it.
That's correct.
thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
Linder,
yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Gord.
Or yes.
Passes.
All right. Moving on, Office of Community and Reinvestment. I believe.
Good morning, Mr. Ford. We have no items for you this morning.
All right, thank you. Is there any new business? I don't think there is. Can I get a motion unanimously?
I'll move unanimous consent. to
Already
place reports on file.
All right. Any objections? Seeing none, moving forward. We do have reason for executive session. And it is a motion to go into executive session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employees.
Williams moves.
Berman second.
All right. Motion is second, roll call to go into executive session.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon, Linder,
Linder, yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Caius, Williams,
Williams, yes.
Gord.
Or yes.
You're free.
Okay, everybody online that's going to be joining us in the closed session, please accept the invite. Be aware we are live streaming, so until I tell you the word, please be aware everything is going out live to the public. I'll let you know when we're all together again.
I don't know.
I don't either. I didn't see the page.
It's gonna be interesting because.
It's gonna be short.
Yeah.
You can wait for me.
No, I'm talking about. This one?
Salary adjustment.
What?
We're probably not taking any away from her, so it's gotta be, must be added to it. I gotta go. Things to do.
No, we're going in closed session.
Think we're making a salary
You didn't
adjustment
have
for
anything
Jody,
else.
maybe?
You didn't have anything else.
People in the room should also join the closed session. And is there anybody hearing my voice that feels they should be in the closed session?
So apparently, I'm not speaking out of turn.
Hmm.
See that, Davis? Kickball has a tie on at home. Dresses appropriately.
Not an orange one though, is it? Orange?
Safety awareness,
All right, you are in open session.
the exact words, but in transport.
All right, can we get a roll call vote for?
Oh, yeah, do that.
Berman,
Here.
something.
Doherty,
Right here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal present.
Kenyon, Linder, Davis,
Davis here.
Pius,
Vice President.
Williams,
Williams present.
Ford,
Board President.
Tepe,
Deputy here.
Kara.
All right, we're back in open session. Now we just need a,
I would move to approve the resolution for salary adjustment.
Berman second.
we have a motion to second. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. Roll call.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Doherty,
Doherty, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Linder,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Pius,
Yes.
Williams,
Williams, yes.
Ford.
Board, yes.
Passes.
Mr. Kenyon.
I'd like to move, we adjourn.
Davis second. Aye.
Get on.
By saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.